Make a start, just confirming again that you can hear us, which I'm sure that you can. Welcome to today's session on the FuseSign experience, transforming digital signing within CAS 360. Today, this is one of the events which is a bit of a precursor to BGL RegTech, which will be taking place from the 1st of March 2022, starting off in Sydney, then in Brisbane, then we'll go to Adelaide and Melbourne. And before we go into anything, I'd just like to really thank the team at FuseSign for their support of BGL RegTech. We're pretty excited that this is one of the first in-person events, and I'll actually get to meet Mel for the first time in person, which will be great. We've had a lot of contact, a lot of communication, a lot of SMSs, a lot of emails, and I'm just simply delighted to see their progress and just how far they're going as an organisation and the incredible products that they're providing to the market. And the other person that will also be joining us and is joining us is Aly Garrett. So Aly Garrett, who many of you may or may not know, quite a great individual and has had an incredible impact in the accounting industry. So you're in for a bit of a great session with both Melissa and Aly, and we're really looking forward to what today will bring. So just as a little bit of just a bit of an intro to both of these individuals. So Melissa has got a great background in the industry and really understands the needs of the accountants and the spot that the FuseSign does fill. And it's an important place because we know that with everything around automation and everything around, especially COVID and having to go paperless and many, many other reasons, they've developed a great solution which has just seen an enormous amount of adoption. And the way that it works, the way that it integrates with the BGL products, the feedback that we're getting is that it provides incredible efficiencies. So Mel, welcome. It's great to have you today.
Thank you very much for that introduction. And likewise, I'm really looking forward to being on the road with the BGL team as part of RegTech. And it's the first time we've been at an event for years. So I think we're going to start off with a really good one.
It'll be amazing. And the other person, before we go on, I'd just like to more formally introduce is a great friend of mine and supporter of BGL in Aly Garrett. Aly's been an incredible support for such a long, long time. And one of the things that I love about what she does is that they actually live out what they say. I've seen their firm grow from, its startup right to where it is today. And it's, both her and her team have won many accolades and moments of recognition, which are just so well deserved. And from Aly, you're just going to learn so much. And I can honestly say that she's one of the great ones in the industry and one of the ones who's really genuine. And what I love about her most is that she's always willing to share her experience and always willing to just impart her knowledge to better the way that you accountants go about things. And that's really important because she's always giving back. So Aly, thank you for joining us too. And we really appreciate you being part of this.
Thanks, Daniel. What a sweet intro. I appreciate that. I thought you might veer off topic, but thank you very much. And I look forward to sharing some insights with everyone today. Well,
lucky there's a recording of this because you'll be able to go back and relive this moment because it doesn't happen very often.
I will definitely put it on a rewind and play.
Look, just in today's session, before I hand it over to Mel and then to Aly, who's going to share her experience, we're just going to go through why FuseSign and why it's a digital signing solution that we really highly recommend that you do consider. And it's really designed by accountants for accountants. So it's targeted to you. It's designed in such a manner that makes sense to you and fits within your product. Now, we know that today's session's around CAS 360, but it also does integrate with Simple Fund 360 and CAS 360 and the Simple Invest 360. So we've built the integration of FuseSign into all the BGL products, and we know that it provides a seamless and great experience to our users from the beginning and to the end. So we're actually going to show today the integration of FuseSign with CAS 360, and then we're going to go through a success story with Aly, who's going to share her experience in the way that she's adopted FuseSign and now has rolled it out to her clients and obviously adopted it within the technology. So today will be a great session. I'm going to hand it over to Mel, and Aly, you will join us when you're ready. So thank you, Mel. I appreciate the time that you've taken today to be a part of this.
Thank you, Daniel. And, I mimic that. I'm really grateful for Aly to be part of this presentation, taking time out of her day to contribute and give us some insights so that we can all learn from that, because collaboration and sharing is the best way we can learn. And it's nice to hear from people that are actually using it in practice rather than just hearing from the people that create the software. It's nice for you to see how people are actually using it and the impact it can have on them and their clients. So before we get started, we just want to quickly remind you how to ask questions. We are very happy for this session to be collaborative. Very happy for you to ask questions, very happy for you to add stuff to the chat. I'm joined by my colleague Jackson. Some of you may have met him. He's on the line to answer questions as we go through, and same with the BGL team. So if there's anything that you agree with, have questions along the way, please interject, and we'll try to get back to you either in the session at the end or as we go through. So just Q&A down the bottom. All you need to do is type your question, and we'll see that coming up in the Q&A or the chat session. So before we get started, probably just a little bit of context. We've been around for a little while, FuseWorks. We have a chartered accounting practice that our technology was born out of, and we were trying to solve real problems in the industry with really smart tools to free up time in our practices. FuseSign is one part of that technology stack that we offer, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So coming with my accountant's hat on, I know the value that integrating a solution like BGL into FuseSign can bring you, and that's what we're trying to really showcase today. The impact of the technology. Some of you may have CAS 360 already, some may use Simple Fund or Simple Invest, some may not, some may be new to both of our products. So here's just a bit of a dive into what we do, I guess, individually as part of our solutions, but how we work really well together. And if you're not adopting digital signing within the BGL platform, you're missing out on so much opportunity. So we're going to give you a way to try that when you get off the line as well with a trial. So we will get started, and firstly just dive into a bit about FuseSign. So why FuseSign? Why did we build it? There are other tools in the market that handle digital signing, and you might ask, well, why did we go and decide to build our own? Well, we have built FuseSign for the accounting industry to balance the needs of a practice. So we're trying to balance the business needs, so internal workflow and management, but also the needs of your client and the client experience. So that simplicity of client experience is probably the most important thing, but we also want to make it really easy for your firm to use it, along with, being cost effective, compliant, secure, all of those things as well. So lots of market research came into play when we were building FuseSign. It's been in the market for about 2 years now. Been integrated with BGL since about August last year. And lots of that market research told us how we could build it better. And for those clients on the line that have been FuseSign clients for the whole journey, they would have seen the evolution and the change and the adoption of things to make life easier, because you've been giving us those suggestions and feedback. So it's a great, I guess in our mind, sort of success story in terms of how a product can start with an idea and come into something that's having a real impact in the industry. And the feedback we're getting, and Aly will reiterate this later, we're getting some really great feedback, and that's what keeps us going, and that's what drives us to integrate with more and more platforms that the accounting industry uses, and add value to your practice, and give your client a consistent approach to digital signing. So it is built for us as accountants. Obviously the feedback, we listen to that, and the things that we're being asked for, affordability. People always want the cheapest, most, cost-effective platform, but obviously with no shortcuts. So we want, it's affordable, it's intuitive. So, within a few minutes, you can have it set up, you can have it connected to the BGL suite, and you could be sending documents for signing. So it's not hard. Cloud technology is giving us a really easy way to be able to get it into your hands and set up really quickly. It's secure, so we have lots of options around verification and two-factor authentication. Mobile friendly, again, the needs of our clients are changing. So they might want to sign documents on their phone. They might want to sign on their desktop. Doesn't really matter. We just need to give you the ability to have that choice. Things like templates and forms. So the ability in an accounting practice to be able to fill out forms or add parts to a template, so to a document. Client may need to sign, but they also may need to add some text or fill out check boxes. So that sort of flexibility when it comes to digital signing. A client asked me the other day around, oh yeah, that's great, but I need a portal because I want to be able to share documents with my clients to view. So, well, you can use FuseSign to send documents for sharing as well securely. They don't need to sign, they can just view those documents. So there's lots of, I guess, features around just the simplicity of sending via FuseSign. Legally binding, so it comes with the audit trail and all of the verification steps that you need to identify your client is signing on their behalf. And obviously, born and bred in Brisbane, FuseSign is Australian made and hosted and supported here. So they're the things that are important. That's the stuff that we've focused on to build it out for our accounting practices. There's a couple of other things that are important when you dive into the detail of a digital signing platform. So when you're looking at a platform, you're looking at a solution that you can use across your entire practice. So what we're talking about today, specifically CAS 360, but the BGL suite is one part of document signing and digital compliance in your practice. There are so many other things that you need to send out for signing. So FuseSign gives you the ability to use it across your practice for everything. Teams functionality, so on screen, the ability for large businesses to leverage one FuseSign account with as many members in their account as they like. So using Teams to add security and I guess a layer of team-based working across a big business. That's really popular for businesses that want to segment out I guess the signing bundles in a practice between divisions. So say business services and super. They might not want to see what each other are sending. So you've got the ability to segment that via our Teams function. We also have firm-wide dashboards. So some practices may want that full view of everything that's left their office. And I like to think of that as an electronic mail book. With digital signing, no longer do you have stuff going in the mail, stuff going by email. You don't know what's out. You don't know what's been looked at. You don't know what's signed. You've got the ability to see in one snapshot everything that's left your office, regardless of where it's come from. And you'll never lose track then of what's out for signing again or lodgement due dates, etc. So we'll talk a little bit about that today in the CAS 360 platform as well. Granular control. So this, again, with accounting firms, there's lots of us that have clients that are part of a large family group. So there's lots of different people and there's lots of different moving parts in a bundle of documents that you're sending out. So you might have mum, dad, adult children, and there might be individual tax returns and entity documents, and there's a few moving parts to that. So with our control, I guess the ability to manage that control in FuseSign, you can nominate who can see, who can sign, or who can't see certain parts of a bundle of documents. So that's really powerful, and it just allows for a really simple approach to signing with lots of, I guess, security around what we're actually sending in a bundle. And the audit trail sort of goes without saying. We need to have visibility over the actions that have happened in a digital signing process, and having verification of who's done what, so that if you're ever challenged in terms of who signed that, you've got that audit trail to back that up. So they're the things that we've built into the platform that make it really easy for you to use and flexible depending on the size of your practice and the functionality you need. So that's the general, I guess, background. I'm just looking in the chat. There's a couple of things that have come through. I'll let the team look at those. When we talk about BGL specifically and what it means, so this is really exciting. When we launched this integration back in August, we were talking about all of the opportunities that digital experience or digital signing experience can give you as part of your BGL suite. So we're going to talk about CAS 360 because it's a bit of a deep dive into that today, but everything I show you, it's very similar in the other products. So in CAS 360, you've got the ability to have real-time notifications, improved workflow and reminders, and I'll show you what that looks like. The ability to create templates when you're sending out documents, so having consistency of templates and documents. A really simple client experience, so no different to what they would experience if they were signing directly from FuseSign. They get their documents, they click to sign, away they go. Reminders and finalisation emails are sent at the end. And the other thing is, sorry, Daniel.
No, look, just to add to that too, is that, you know, in designing this, and we did this together with FuseSign, what we looked at is we looked at the entire process of what it would take to initiate something like a document or a change or collect an annual review to delivering it to your client. And then it's not only about the delivery, but it's also managing the document after it's been delivered, ensuring that it does come back signed, that the notifications drive your user experience and management to ensure that things like the deadlines and the requirements of ASICs are always adhered to.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I hear from people all the time that BGL clients, they use CAS 360. They might have moved, and like my practice did, moved from a CAS desktop to CAS 360, and they're not leveraging digital signing. Like, there's such an opportunity that's being missed from that automation that's built into the platform that it really surprises me that there's still quite a number. So that might be because in the past there's not been a a cost-effective alternative for this. So that's what we're here to try to give you the keys to being able to do this at a price point that's going to give you the value. And then you can reap the rewards of the sophistication of the BGL suite that they've built in. You can tell I'm a bit of a fan. So really, really excited with this integration. What I'm going to step you through now is just some screenshots on what a process would look like. It might pose some questions, and feel free to add stuff in the chat if you're using it, or if you're not, or if you like certain parts of it. Really happy to hear that, and we can chime in and respond as we go. CAS 360, like I said, there is a lot of opportunity for automation within this platform, and we work really closely with this team to share your feedback, share your experiences, and things have evolved since August last year as well. So if you tried things out, 6 months ago, it's time to try it again. There's been lots of enhancements, lots of integration, evolution. So yeah, and feedback is also what drives development teams. So we're really keen to hear about that. The integration. So it is super easy to just give this a try. So that's what we suggest you do. Give it a try, proof's in the pudding. You will need a FuseSign account to do this. So you can get a FuseSign account for free for 14 days. Jackson on the line can pop in the chat how you do that, and we'll also have a poll at the end. All you have to do is go into CAS 360 and connect your FuseSign account. It's as simple as that. You go into the app switcher and you click on the Practice Apps button, click into digital signing, and you can then select FuseSign. You'll then find it's connected to your integration app. This is really giving BGL permission to interact with your FuseSign account. So your administrator in FuseSign can be the one to connect that, and then anybody in CAS 360 can leverage that platform and that integration. Clicking through here. So here we're about to start, creating a document and sending a document. So you can use this for many, many different things. Like I said, the experience in, say, Simple Fund 360 is very similar. This example on screen is a company address change. With corporate compliance, we know the biggest document that we need to do every year is a company statement. That's going to drive the biggest level of automation. So same rules apply. You find your document, it will flag the documents that can be digitally signed, and it displays a little signing icon next to that document. And then at the bottom of the screen, you've got the electronic signing options. From there, you simply select FuseSign as your signing provider. It will default to us. I guess also to comment, what BGL have allowed in recent months is the ability to just give FuseSign a try. So say you're in you've got another provider, ticking along and you're just keen to hear how FuseSign can help, or how we might add more value to your business as a whole, then you can select multiple digital signing providers and keep your existing one, try us in our trial for free, and then you can make the decision, and we can obviously help you along the way with that. But yeah, the ability to have multiple is now available. So just give it a try if you're in another platform and you're keen to just find out a little bit more, and then you press save to move on. To send it, really simple. Screen will pop up, asks you to validate, and then you're ready to send the document. So from there, like as you can see, it's not hard. It has 360. All the documents are set in stone. So there's certain types of documents around corporate compliance. It knows the documents because it's obviously the documents are coming from the platform. It knows the directors. It knows the people signing. So it actually connects the dots with all of the right spots throughout those documents for dates and signatures automatically without you even having to touch it or go into those documents and nominate any of those actions. So it's really, really clever. What will happen from there is it will give you a preview of an email template, which can be customized before you send it out. But once you're happy, you click send and that document is prepared and emailed to the clients. Good part about this is the workflow stays in the BGL suite, so in CAS 360, and I'll show you what that looks like. It starts there, it goes to the client, it comes back. So the true workflow and the full, I guess, breadth of what you'd expect in terms of managing that workflow is all contained within BGL. FuseSign also can be opened separately from our FuseSign app, which is straight from a browser. You can see all of the documents that you're sending from BGL. You can see all the documents you're sending directly from FuseSign. The only difference will be in FuseSign, you won't be able to edit the documents coming from BGL because that is all stored within the BGL suite. So it puts a bit of control around that, but full visibility straight from one dashboard in FuseSign. Client then gets an email. It's really simple. They click, they then are stepped through the prompts of digital signing. So it's secure, they can action it. It's like a dynamic email that they can interact with. So the FuseSign screen pops up, prompting the client to review their documents. And what they then get sent to is our FuseSign dashboard. So in this example on screen, and I'll make mention of this, there's FuseSign in the banner, there's the green colour on the Get Started button. That is all a configurable branding customization you can do in FuseSign. So you can go into FuseSign, add your logo, add your corporate colours, and then your dashboard, when a client opens it, is all in your brand. So that's really nice to be able to do, because then the client, they're more comfortable that it's your branded, it's powered by you. Client can download, they can get started, and again, follow the bouncing ball. Simple. They click to sign at the bottom, or they can reject if they're not happy with the document, and you'll be notified of that rejection. So really, really simple when it comes to digital signing. Client then signs their document, so types their name, signs, and then they're going to be prompted that they're finished on the next page. So as you can see, and look, some of you on the line might already be FuseSign users, so this is all pretty basic stuff, but I guess what I'm trying to show you is it's really simple to initiate. Most of the work is done, the heavy lifting's done, the documents are marked up. Out it goes, the clients are signing, and we're seeing the turnaround of signing of documents is coming back really quickly. Not many clients get reminders, not many clients reject. The workflow is really, really simple. So they go out, and what that's going to mean in your business is less of the lodgement penalties and less frustration, less of your team time in following up and reminding. And I've been there, and I know some of you on the line would have been as well. It takes a significant amount of time to manage stuff that's left the office. and this means you just don't have to. So what has been built into the system is the ability here then to see what's been signed. So you can see on screen at any point in time where it's at. You can also then see a full list of everything that's gone out. Has it gone to the client? Is it ready for lodgement? So really, really simple workflow, all from within your CAS 360. And a lot of people on the line might have corporate compliance teams or a person responsible for that. So that person can manage all of the documents being sent out of the BGL product, all from the one spot, and they're using the power of FuseSign in terms of the mechanics of sending for signing. And where that adds a lot of value is that clients get this simple signing solution that, for all of their corporate compliance documents, but they can use it for every document that you're sending out of your office, from business services to, engagement letters to BASs, anything else your business needs to send, other people can be leveraging the same FuseSign account for. So that's the true value in having a digital signing platform that's integrated, but it's also flexible to be used across your business with as many other documents as you can. So if I move to the next screen here,
So
when you're
we go
Daniel.
on, just other documents that that the clients may want to have digitally signed. How easy is it to set those up and to get those out, and what does the client need to do to prepare those documents for such?
Yeah, look, I think, and we'll talk about this with Aly a little bit. We had a chat the other day. The common types of documents that we're sending out of an accounting practice are financials, tax returns, minutes, corporate compliance, engagement letters. It is as simple as dragging a PDF into FuseSign and sending for signing. It's not hard. With our integration, so we've got direct integrations into all of the key practice management systems. So what that means, you could be using XPM, so Xero Practice Manager, or APS, or MyOb, or GreatSoft, and you can use the data in your database in FuseSign. You're not duplicating client names, emails, mobiles. So client contact syncing directly into a platform is, another integration that adds a lot of value. So you imagine having client contact data up to date all the time. You will leverage FuseSign directly as a standalone, or you'll take advantage of one of our integrations with our document management system. So for example, and Aly is a great example of this, FYI, they have the ability directly connected to FuseSign, click on a document, send for signing, and out it goes, and then straight back into FYI for filing. So again, it's just about looking at your technology stack, seeing what you use, seeing where FuseSign fits into that, as integrated as it possibly can be. But also, sometimes you don't, if there's not an integration, maybe there's some other benefits of it that something else might not provide. So yeah, I think we'll have a bit more of a banter about that and some questions about that with Aly, and probably the point about tax returns we might cover off with Aly as well, because there's different ways you can send out a tax return for signing. It's just, the ultimate client experience is, how do we get consistency in how we're sending information and documents from our practice to our clients? So how do we achieve that? So, so I think that kind of is going to, finish us up on that demo. Some really cool things in CAS 360, which you can have a chat with their team about. They are awesome in support and helping you with this. CAS 360 are also, the whole BGL product is focused on integrations as well. So for example, we've got clients that use FuseSign, use BGL, use FYI. The connection back from BGL straight to file back into FYI is also available. So there's ability then to file directly back into your document management system. And there might be the case with others as well, but just trying to, find out how integrated are these bits of technology, and asking the question, because us as, providers of technology, we want to know, and we prioritize development based on the number of people asking for things. So if we're always being asked, please, can you integrate with this? There's a catalyst for us putting that closer to the top of the list rather than leaving it down the bottom if we think no one's interested. So that's the sort of stuff we're really focused on and excited about. And any number of you that would have spoken to us know that we do live and breathe that, and I know BGL do as well. So there is lots of questions coming through. Jackson, yell at me if you think we should talk about any of those now. Show your faces, anybody, if we should. But what we might segue into is now a bit of a conversation with our guest. We met, so Jackson and I were lucky to meet with Aly and her team at an event in Adelaide late last year. And I must say the success story that's come from a business like Aly's that is all about workflow, process improvement, integrating systems to achieve a really great result is what excites me. So that's why we brought her on the line, because I know she's a really big fan of BGL. I know she's now a raving fan of FuseSign. And it's just really nice for us to hear from somebody that's actually just done it fairly recently, and have a good conversation. And I'm sure Daniel will be jumping in as well, because he can't stay off camera for too long. So yeah, let's have a conversation. But thank you, Aly, for joining us.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks for having me come along. And you're right, Daniel does like there he is. He does like to interrupt, so I'm sure he'll have lots of things to say and add to this as well.
I'll be watching and listening.
Awesome. You will see on screen, you don't have to read all of this, but I love some of the words that Aly has been communicating with us over the last couple of months about the impact it's had for her business. So we're going to ask a couple of questions about that, and feel free to add into the chat if you've got specific questions as well, or if you've found similar things or not similar. Here to try to answer that. And there is a lot of questions. I'm looking at the chat now; it's huge. So I'm really glad I've got my running mate Jackson on the line as well to handle that. So look, Aly, we know you have been a big fan of CAS 360 for quite a while, BGL in general. What was the catalyst for you a few months ago to give FuseSign a try? New kid on the block, you've probably never heard of us. What was that?
I just hadn't thought of using you at that point. Yes, so I've been using BGL products actually since I started out in my career over some 25 years ago, and it's the only product I've ever used for corporate compliance. So it was something that was really familiar to me, and I love the cloud product. And so we used electronic signatures through DocuSign. So we had an electronic signature platform. It was okay. And like a lot of other accountants around the time, DocuSign gave us a very large increase for no added value. But what we were also looking at is we have an integrated tech stack. So every single product that we use is cloud-based and it talks to each other. And we'd recently taken on FYI, and we obviously had the CAS 360 program. And so when we found out that FuseSign was going to be available through the CAS 360 product, that was actually the reason we moved across at the time, because you were integrating with all of the products that we currently use. So we only had to do something once. Everything was being filed. And honestly, the transition was incredibly seamless, and the clients have taken to it like a duck to water, and everything gets filed back in FYI and it's tagged properly. So it's just eliminated a lot of the admin-y stuff that we had to deal with before. So that's kind of why we moved to FuseSign, and it's been a great experience, and support's been great too. So thanks.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. You do make a point about, the client experience, and I guess that's important, and I'll come to that. But what is the biggest impact, if you could name one or two things that it's had on your business?
Yeah, I think it's the integration, the ease of use. Like my team, like we literally had like a 5-minute powwow. We're using FuseSign now. Here's the video, go check it out. And then we were off. And so I think that that's really been wonderful. And the other thing I absolutely love is the ability to, when you're sending a document pack outside of CAS 360, so we send our financial reports out through FuseSign, you can choose who wants to view it and who's going to sign it and who doesn't view it. So in a DocuSign type environment, it kind of, you went off and it went to everybody and they could view the whole thing. So in FuseSign, the ability to actually allocate who it's going to has been fantastic and given us just that added layer of security, so that we're not having to do 2 or 3 packs, and that we can send everything in one pack, but somebody's viewing this, somebody's signing this, somebody doesn't want to see this. And so that's been a real game changer for us, I have to admit.
Yeah, and look, that was probably at its core the biggest difference between our platform and all of the others. That's the game changer for a practice that has large family groups. And yeah, I 100% agree. And the other probably big thing is we wanted to get away from username and passwords. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants to manage them. Nobody wants their clients to have to use them. So the ability to send out documents securely was also another, I guess, critical part of, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. And that secure sharing of information is something that I think we as accountants really struggle with. I mean, I hear sometimes that people still send out, you know, ATO correspondence via email. That's not actually a secure way to share documentation. And we need to be responsible for what we're sharing and what sort of privacy information we're sending out to clients that can potentially be tapped in. So that secure sharing environment through FuseSign with that added backup of that two-factor authentication via the email or the SMS has just been fantastic. And that's certainly something that I think that maybe we don't value as much as we should.
Oh, I agree. Sorry, Daniel, you jump in there.
Yeah. Aly, I know that we've had a long association and I've very much admired the way that you've gone about putting your business together. But I know one of the things that's really important to you is not only the products and the integration, but also the people behind the products and support behind the product. Because from my experience, you don't just adopt technology, you adopt the technology plus the people behind it. How important is that in considering a software decision?
It's actually a really big reason we choose some of the products that we have. We need to feel an alignment of culture. We need to feel supported and we need to be heard. And my app partners are just that, partners. It's a relationship. It's a two-way street. And I remember when Jackson got in contact with us, and then, you know, we got to meet Mel, and then we met obviously in Adelaide. We just clicked and it felt like we were on the same page. And what I loved is that this product is built by an accountant who runs an accounting firm. Like, they know our pain points. They are sitting in the same stuff that we're sitting in. They know all of the things that we really need help with. And that has certainly helped. So when you bring the support, the relationship, when you bring what pain points are resolved, plus all the integrations, it is an absolute no-brainer for me. And like I said before, it has been a seamless transition. I didn't get one client kickback. And what we do is in the templates that we send out to clients, we send them that little FuseSign vid of this is how you use it. And so they just click on that and literally, like, it's done. And I remember when we were setting up DocuSign, oh dear Lord, did we get pushback from clients, and how do I do this and how do I do that, and I can't log in, and it was so painful. We didn't have any of that with this. In fact, we have clients saying, oh, this is fantastic, I love it, thank you. And it looks good. Like, it's all branding, it looks fantastic. I like using it because when I sign, you know, I have to sign on my end. I like it. I love how it looks.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
Aly,
that's great. Yeah.
If I was going to ask you a question around efficiencies, right? We know the old traditional method of putting together the documents or reports, sending them out to clients. And I've seen it happen so many often where people have multiple systems to manage a process and a set of reminders, and they'd see things in diaries, in spreadsheets, and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
How much has what we've built with FuseSign, and obviously what FuseSign has been able to deliver through the product, made a difference? And what sort of decreases in times have you experienced?
It has been immense. And I think it's just from one, how easy it is to set up FuseSign and then use it, like just dragging, you know, documents in. I can even do it, and that says something. Like, I'm not usually on the tools. I've got a team to do that. So my team knows if I can do it, it's pretty simple. And, you know, I admit that. So, you know, in that side of things. And then, you know, I've been at old school firms where they were still prepping up all of these documents for their annual compliance and sending it via email or even via post, like, oh my goodness. And then they'd have to get it back, check it off, make sure it's done. Some things got missed and there were late lodgement penalties and you never knew where anything was at. There was no oversight. This eliminates all of that. Like, honestly, there's a whole admin person sitting there doing all of that back-end paperwork, processing, filing, checking, reviewing, emailing clients. That, you don't need that with this product. It literally replaces that person. And, you know, then they can actually utilize their time more effectively by actually getting value rather than just doing all of those repetitive process tasks that these products do.
And I know too that one of the concerns that many users will have before adopting such technology is the resistance of clients, right? And I can't downplay enough the need to be engaged with your clients, informing your clients and educating your clients, but then also being a little bit firm on the way you want to engage with them going forward and how you want them to engage with you. I think that it's important that you take that line. Am I correct in saying that, Aly?
I would absolutely agree. And you know what? If you get resistance, talk to them, communicate with them, say, what are the problem points here? If it's around training, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get one of my team to help you. It takes 5 minutes. And, you know, or get on a Zoom and record it so that they've got it for next time. It's a quick Loom video. It's a quick how-to video. It's a finding it on Google and showing them. But I don't change my process. I train and educate the person. I recently had a new client come on board who who their accountant was kind of old school and they'd never really experienced it. It was a retired doctor and they're in their mid-70s. And I wasn't sure how they'd go. And swear to God, I send out the documents 5 seconds back and he's like on the phone, that was amazing. And I'm like, yeah, like it, I think some of it is our responsibility to train and educate our clients, but it does make everyone's job so much easier. And then they get sent the documents. They've got it in their email traffic or they can download it. So they've got access to it at all times. And I think that really helps as well.
Yeah, and look, and I know one of the concerns is, sorry about that, Mel, is around people thinking that, they've got an older demographic of client. Yeah. And I know from my own personal experience, my mother-in-law is now using an iPad, right?
Oh, yeah.
She wouldn't even know how to turn a phone on, right? Yeah. And now she's moved to using an iPad to control the TV, to do this, to check emails, to get engaged on WhatsApp. They are far more tax savvy than what you think. So give them some credit, give them some support, give them the education and training, and they will adopt that which is put before them.
Oh, absolutely. And look, I've got a mixed client bag. Don't think I've only got young startups. I don't. You know, I've had some clients of 25 years and, you know, they're kind of like my work dads. Like, I don't think it's demographic based on age. Sometimes they just potentially struggle with, you know, how to do it. And that's where we can help them. And it's not that hard.
No, I know, obviously we're having a lot of conversations around digital signing and the adoption, not only internally, with some resistance because that's going to take my job away, which obviously there's a better use of your time, but internally, but also externally. And they're not giving their clients a chance. So they're jumping to conclusions. And I many times have to call people out and say, give them the benefit of the doubt. You don't know until you try, because our experience is, and all the feedback we're getting is clients are adopting it way easier than what you would have imagined. So yeah, there is that resistance. And obviously putting my accounting hat on, it was always around having technology and using it in our practice, but having tools to educate our clients. So we've come up with resources, because if we're asked a few times for the same thing, we will give you a video, a template of how to do it, a social tile to put in your newsletter. So just, you know, asking and educating is really important, not only internally, but for the clients. I like that. I
couldn't agree more with you. And that happens in my world too. If a client's asking the same questions and I'm getting it from multiple people, sure as heck, there's going to be a blog on that. I'm going to create a video. I'm going to share that content. Same thing, right? We need to educate clients, and it helps us long term. Like if somebody asks me a question now, I'm like, here's the blog.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess and we're just going to be a little bit conscious of time. We've got a 15 or so minutes for people to ask other questions of any of us on the line. But you mentioned before around using FuseSign across your business. So what we're really, I guess, focused on is a consistent client experience and the same way that they need to engage with you digitally. Yep. So if we can use FuseSign for everything, then that's the ultimate. We had a bit of a conversation about this the other day. You know, a lot of clients would be using Xero, so Xero Tax, and there's the ability to sign tax returns through Xero. Yes. Do you just want to share your experience and how you approach that? Because I know it's very similar to how lots are thinking, and I guess challenging. Well, how should we do this when there's different tools on offer and we've got all these different ways? What should we do?
Yep. So we do use Xero Tax, and for business activity statements and small personal tax returns where there's only one person, we will actually send it out through Xero Tax. It's quick, it's simple, we're in there, bang, it's out. For anything else, we will use FuseSign. So that incorporates financial accounts and tax returns. It incorporates any type of, you know, documentation that we need a signature for. It incorporates obviously anything through the corporate compliance. So FuseSign is major electronic signature platform, and that's more for that multiple signatures, or if it's just being integrated through another product. But we do use that zero tax for that one-off type signature. So I guess we are running those two platforms, but the people that are using the small tax returns and the BAS don't get confused between the systems because they don't see the FuseSign one. So they're really little.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I guess, the conversation I have with clients a lot. They'll say, oh, but what about zero tax? I said, well, that's great for, particularly practices that just do lots of individual tax returns. Yeah. You're probably going to leverage, whether it's Xero or some other platform, you're probably going to leverage that internal signing for that workflow. But if you're a practice that has got lots of moving parts, and most of our clients do, they've got large family groups, there's lots of different needs for signing. Yeah. The experience and the client consistency of sending everything through one tends to trump.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Xero's most probably going to get upset with me for saying this, but they do have the document bundles, but they're clunky and hard and they're not where they need to be yet. FuseSign 100% is one of the easiest products I have used to do the EPACs, what we like to call EPACs, which is like, your old school binders of financial tax. So easy. Like you literally click and drag, you choose the contact, you allocate where the signature goes, and you can even get that in a template format. It's done. These things take hours. At old firms, we used to put it into like a PDF and tag everything, and it took ages. It is such a time saver. I cannot emphasize how easy it was. And that's with no training. That was me being able to.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, that's what people need to know. It's easy, it's simple, it's cost effective, it's integrated. They're the things that you would look at. If you were here on the line, not having had a digital signing platform before, they're the things you'd want to know. If you do have one, they're the things you might be frustrated about with your existing one. So
yeah, absolutely. And as I said, we were familiar with other electronic signing platforms, so it's not like I've never had another one to compare to. In comparison, it is good.
Yeah, thank you. We might move through the last couple of slides and then be on the line all again for some questions at the end, because I know there's a lot coming through and I really haven't been, I've been too focused on the main agenda than looking in the chat. So let's just step through the last couple of things, and we've got time for questions at the end. So our offer for BGL clients is really nice. It's a great cost-effective way of being able to leverage digital signing directly within BGL. In BGL, anytime you send something out to a client, it's going to cost you 1 credit. So we call them a signing credit. It's equivalent of 90 cents to $1.20. The bigger the practice, the more signing credits you need, the cheaper the price point. But essentially the cost of a stamp for every time you send something out of BGL. So that's per bundle of documents sent. In FuseSign, you can send for anything else, and our practice-wide signing solution is based on our per signer. So a signer is a credit, and you can use it for everything in your business. So try it in BGL. Try it also for other documents. There's value in having that consistency for clients. To get started, it's really easy. You can jump into, there's a BGL landing page, so on fusesign.com /BGL, and you can subscribe for a 14-day trial. You can use that fully integrated for that time, get all the support you need from us. It's really easy to set up in BGL, like I mentioned, and there's heaps of support available. So we are, again, with our accounting hats on, don't want to lock you into 2-3 year contracts. You're not sure about, what your need for digital signing is or how many credits you might need. So we have a simple month-to-month subscription that you can choose. You might choose to jump onto an annual one. You might prove it in a few months and go, yep, great, I'm gonna join up for a year to get a further discount. But yeah, month to month, it's really, really simple. We are going to share a quick poll now, and this is for people, and Skylar, I'll get you to launch this poll, for people that just want us to reach out, have a chat firstly about it, or set you up with a trial, or you want to hear more about CAS 360. So I know we've got lots of mutual clients on the line, and we've got lots of clients that are one or the other. So this is an opportunity to talk to both sides as you like. And yeah, look, as you can tell from the line, Daniel and I and Jackson as well are very, very keen to have a conversation and a chat. We'll also be at the BGL roadshows. So Jackson and I will be there in all of the locations. So come up and say hi. We saw you on the webinar. We are really keen to get back out there and socialise and join the event. So yeah, feel free to come and meet us there as well. We'll keep this going for a couple of minutes. And Daniel, I've just seen you've jumped back in.
Yeah, no, just a quick point. As I mentioned at the beginning, BGL RegTech will be starting in about a week and a half or a couple of weeks. And we will be talking a little bit about FuseSign as part of our presentations in regards to some of the stuff we've built around our APIs and our products. You'll also get a chance to hear about many of the new developments that have taken place and things that we've done to help make your life better and easier. So we'd really encourage you to come along. But really what we love about RegTech is putting before you the likes of people like Aly and also Rebecca Mihalik, who will be talking about the whole concept and idea of evolution and their experience in that. So what you're going to walk away with from hearing from them is real good practical experiences on how to build your business and build a better practice and ultimately client experience. And then also Ron, should be sharing around the whole concept of evolution and giving an update on BGL and where we're going, where we're at. So if you can get along to BGL RegTech, we'd love to see you there. It'll be very safe. We're abiding by all protocols, and we just see it as a great opportunity for all of us to be able to get back together in person and really celebrate that which we have missed out on for such a long time. And I'm even looking forward to seeing Aly, which she's probably surprised at that.
I knew it, Daniel. I knew it.
Well, you get to travel with me for 4 days. So.
I know, I'm super excited. And I have to tell you, I've been working so hard on what I want to really share. There is some gold nuggets in there. I'm basically opening up the closet. There are no skeletons left. So please come along.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you've got lots of wisdom to share with us.
Yeah.
You've been around for a long time.
You've been around for longer, Daniel.
As you can tell to the audience, this could get a little bit nasty. No,
no,
just joking. Couple of minutes left for questions to any of us on the line. If you've got anything that you'd like to ask, comment on, yes, you use both and you love it. We love hearing that as well. Jackson, is there anything that's come through in the chat that would be useful to communicate with the group?
Well, yes and no. There was some great questions, just a sort of a mix across the board with both BGL functionality or CAS 360 functionality as well as FuseSign. There's a few things that we kind of need to circle back on. Probably nothing in particular. There were questions like, where do documents go back to once they've been sent out? Obviously, there are two answers to that, depending on whether they've come from BGL or from FuseSign directly. Anything from BGL gets sent back and you can lodge that directly from CAS 360. FuseSign goes back into FuseSign. FYI, as Melissa mentioned, if you're using that integration, auto file back into the FYI system under the client. Little things like that, but we kind of got to most of them as we were going along. Probably the only other thing for anyone looking at FuseSign in terms of subscriptions, we don't have a set additional price just for using the BGL integration. All of our integrations available on our Business Lite or above package. So that's all you require, and that is the same with any new integrations that come as well. So there's no additional charge. If you're on that Business Lite or above, you get access to those. That's probably it. You guys covered everything. There have been a few more questions starting to pop through a little bit, but they're the main ones.
Yeah, that's good. There is a question here that's popped up about AML for CAS 360. So obviously, Daniel, this is our New Zealand client, so it's a question. So director identity verification's a new part of the platform?
So we are well and truly down the track with that, and we'll be able to have some more notification about that going forward. But the guys are definitely onto it and looking at automating the entire process. So I actually did just ask Warren about the AML. He'll be able to give us a status update. Mm-hmm. If not, Sharon, what I'll do is I'll reach out to you with a full update as to what's happening, but it's definitely in progress.
Yeah, great. There's another question that's come in through from Matt. You know, is there a list somewhere of the documents that are allowed to be electronically signed under Australian law? So obviously we've got Australian clients on the line in New Zealand. It is a complete grey area in terms of the interstate rules around digital signing. But I must say, in the last 2 years, we've been really helped with the allowance of a lot more to be digitally signed because of COVID and the relaxation that's needed, and that's not going to go backwards anytime soon. So there are a lot more documents that are able to be signed digitally than they ever have been. We do have a partnership integration with Access, and there's lots of opportunities for, I guess, to us to hear more about what can be, what can't be. Obviously, they deal with corporate compliance as well, so there's a lot of relaxation coming that way as well. So we'll be communicating a bit more on that in due course too. But at the moment, it's really not black and white, unfortunately.
Yeah, we did have a question as well, which is a pretty good one, just FuseSign specifically from Steve. So you notice there's a storage increase and there's a limit on what you can have inside of FuseSign. So the reason that we have a limit in terms of how much you can have stored within FuseSign is quite purposeful. It's similar to like your email inbox. We don't want to have we're purely transactional. We don't want to have those document packs sitting within FuseSign for long periods of time. It's not to say that we're not secure, but you're just doubling your risk by having your documents in multiple platforms. So the reason we provide that limit is so that we encourage our clients in a really nice way to make sure that they don't use us as a storage facility or a document management system, because we are not that. So Steve, that's why we have those limitations on how much you can have within FuseSign. It's the same as your emails in the sense that it's not a small amount. Take you a while to get there, but it is there.
Yeah, and probably to add to that, the workflow in FuseSign allows for you to have as many documents out for signing as you like. There's no storage limit on that. It's really only the returned documents, and audit trail and the history of every single bundle that you've ever sent through FuseSign will remain there forever. It's just those documents. That we. So there's reasons for our madness with that. And it just makes for really good work practices when you're enforcing things, getting back into the document management system where your client files live.
And Jared just asked if there's going to be a recording. I imagine so. BGL will likely send something out after. I'll speak on behalf of you guys, sorry. So yeah, Jared, that should be fine. We've got a couple of people that have asked that, so we'll get that recording out.
Everyone will get an email at the end with access to the recording.
Yeah, and we did a session with Jeevan, who is a powerhouse at BGL in recent months, and we've got a little recording of the actual integration live. So we've got that on our website, so there's access to that, and obviously hook it up and just give it a try yourself is probably the best way you can give it a go.
Yep, I'm not sure if that was mentioned as well, Melissa, but even I think I popped it in the chat, but even through a trial with FuseSign, you're welcome to connect and try it out, even if you have additional like DocuSign connected. BGL worked hard to make sure that we have the ability to connect more than one digital signing tool to their platform at a time. So anything you currently have out, with DocuSign or something else, doesn't mean you can't use FuseSign to send new things out to get a bit of a feel for it without interrupting anything there.
Yeah, great.
I just want to add something there. That is what we did. So we were still using FuseSign, and we trialed FuseSign, and then it took us about a week or two to transition everything over. Just a warning, if you do use DocuSign, make sure you get all your documents out before you tell them you're leaving.
Yes, I had that this morning actually. I think you're on the line. I won't name names, but their subscription's coming up very soon, and they said, what's the transition? What are we going to need to do? I'm like, you need to make sure all your documents out ASAP. Do not. I said, draw a line in the sand today. Move. Don't send any more out because they'll be stuck in the wild and they won't be able to do anything with them. So that's a good point as well, Ali.
Yeah, because we leave that.
Yeah. And look, I would never do, like, when we have a document signed by a client, you do not need FuseSign in 15 years time if you don't want it. Like, we want you to be, and we want lifelong raving fans, but we attach all of the history, the audit, the signatures, and all of the potential stepping stones to verify a signature in the document itself. So you have access to that, you download it, you've got it. I hate being stuck with something without the keys to the information. So yeah, 100% we will do right by you with that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're almost at 3 o'clock Melbourne time, and our hour is up. So just on behalf of BGL Corporate Solutions, I'd like to thank Mel and the team at FuseSign and Jackson for being part of today, and thank you once again for supporting us at BGL RegTech. And thank you for everything you bring to our products and to our community, and especially to our users, because we know it makes a difference. And if you haven't tried FuseSign and you'd like to try it, I encourage you to do so. Thank you also, Aly. It's good to see you again, and I'll get to see you in person for the first time in a long time in a couple of weeks. Thank you always for sharing your sound knowledge with the community, and you know, it's something that we really appreciate. And the other thing I'll probably give a little plug to is Aly's little podcast, her Accounting Adventures podcast she does with Andrew Vanderbeek. Listen to that, download that, and I'm sure that there's plenty of little nuggets in that for you to be able to walk away with. And we're also a proud sponsor of that too. So thank you to everyone who attended. Thank you, Mel and Aly, for your great contribution, and we look forward to seeing you at RegTech if we can.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, everybody, for your time, and thank you, BGL, for hosting us yet again.
Have a great day.
Thank you.